Hi, and welcome back to my channel. It's good to see you again. Today's class will be about words that are often confusing to everyone, including native English speakers. This is part 9 of a series I am making about confusing words. So if you need help with certain vocabulary, let me know and I will talk about it in my next video. Today, we will focus on the most important ways to use the word even. You will hear this word a lot because even is on the list of the 100 most used words in the English language. We will also look at words that are similar to even for many of the definitions, just in case you hear other variations or differences in your future conversations. This class is a little more advanced, so if you are a beginner, of course you can listen and learn. Just pause when you need to. Let's get started and bring you one big step closer to English fluency. Okay, so even is a very flexible word, and we use it in so many ways, including as an adjective, adverb, verb, and verb phrase. I will tell you right now, it's a little frustrating to learn this word, but after you understand a few of the definitions, you will be thankful because you only need to remember one word instead of about 15. Let's start nice and easy and look at even as an adjective. And remember, adjectives describe nouns, so a person, place, or a thing. The first definition we have is not crooked. Crooked looks like this, just like a crooked picture on a wall. And even looks like this. Maybe you already know the word flat or smooth. Flat and smooth are similar words for this definition. You can say cars drive best on an even road. Cars drive best on a flat road. And cars drive best on a smooth road. Let's do a couple more sentences. If you want to play billiards, you need an even table to play. Most of the time, people build houses on an even foundation. I don't like riding my bike on a bumpy or uneven street. I like even streets much more. Good. For the rest of this video, if you want to see more similar words, you can search online on a thesaurus. A thesaurus is similar to a dictionary, but instead of telling you what the word means, it will show you similar words just like flat and smooth from a moment ago. And it will also tell you what the antonym is, or the opposite word, just like uneven or bumpy. Maybe that will help you too, just in case you forget the word even. It happens sometimes, and it's totally normal when learning a language. Always remember, in English, there are multiple ways to communicate the same sentence. All right, let's look at the next definition, parallel. Parallel looks like this. This can mean flat, just like our last example, but we can use it for any direction. Up, down, left, right, diagonal, etc. But the main point is these lines or objects don't touch. Let me show you some examples. The legs of the billiard table should be even. Definitely. The legs of any table shouldn't touch each other. The lines in a parking lot should be even. These lines also shouldn't touch each other. The pictures hang at an even height on the wall. For some people, it is easier to remember different words instead of even for all of these definitions. So let's look at some alternatives. So we had parallel, which you absolutely can use and has the exact same meaning here. You can also say side by side. He and I walk side by side. He and I walk evenly together. This is used as an adverb in this case. Along or alongside. The walking trail is alongside the river. The walking trail is even with the river. And you can say in the same direction. That works too. The lines in the parking lot point in the same direction. The lines in the parking lot are even. Great. Don't forget to pause anytime you need to if you need a moment to write notes. I know this is a lot of information. All right, the next definition we have is the same, or identical, or equal. The score for the soccer game is currently even at 1-1. When baking, add even amounts of flour and water. You might know the word same already, so if you like that word more, keep using it. There is no need to make things more complicated. Learn this just in case someone says it in conversations so you can understand, but you can say the score for the soccer game is currently the same at 1-1. And when baking, add the same amount of water and flour. Our next definition is quite simple. We have even numbers and odd numbers. Even numbers are 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10, for example. And odd numbers are 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9, for example. If you are an English class with only 2 people, maybe your English teacher will tell you both. You do the odd numbers in the exercise, and he will do the even numbers. This means you will start with question 1, he will do question 2, you will do question 3, etc., until the exercise is done. We usually use this when we talk about numbers, like we have an odd number of soccer players per team on the field, 11 players. When both teams are on the field, we then have a total of 22 players. 22 is an even number. The number can be massive, like 5,539,718, and can have all of these odd numbers, like the 5, 5, 3, 9, and 7, and 1, but because the last number is 8, it's automatically even. Just like with 2,648,243, those even numbers don't matter because 3 is the last number, which automatically makes it an odd number. Math is universal, so I think in your math classes, in your native language, have the same or at least very similar rules. All right, Next up is a slang term or street English meaning debt-free, or you don't owe someone money anymore. You will hear this a lot in movies, so it's good to know. Let's say your friend gave you 10 euros to buy some food because you forgot your wallet at home. 1 week later, you see your friend again and give him back his 10 euros. You can say something like, "Hey, I owe you 10 euros. Here you go. Now we are even." You can think of this like you are now both on the same level, like in our first definition of even. One of you isn't lower with less money now. Everything is paid, so now you are both even. If you want the more official word that you would say maybe at the bank, for example, you can say something like, "This is a check for my last monthly car payment. Now my debt is paid in full," or "My debt is settled." Debt is spelled D-E-B-T, but we don't pronounce the B. We don't say debt. I wish I could tell you why there is a B at all in the word, but what I do know is it is a Latin word, and many Latin words do have a silent B and other silent letters in other words, just like in French. But going back to even, with friends and family, you almost always will use even in this way. You wouldn't really say paid in full with that. Great. Let's look at even as an adverb now. As we know, adjectives describe the noun and adverbs describe the verb. All right, the first way we can use even doesn't exactly have a definition. We use it as a filler word, which means to add emphasis or to stress what we are saying. Let's use this example. You like apples a lot, but you like mangoes even more. You can leave the word out and say you like apples a lot, but you like mangoes more. That's perfectly correct grammatically, but it sounds stronger somehow if you say the sentence with even. We like to use this when comparing things. You like to watch sports, but you like to play sports even more. It's almost like saying you like to watch sports, but you really like to play sports, with emphasis on the really. You're stressing a word to make it stronger. If you want to be very romantic to your partner, you can say, "You look even more beautiful or handsome today than yesterday." Great, let's move on. We can use even usually during extreme events, and a similar meaning can be like 100% or fully. This also adds stress to your sentence. They will save a child from drowning underwater, even in freezing cold water. I will support my family even if I have to work 3 jobs to make it happen. She will even sell her car to pay for her pet's operation. Thankfully, these situations don't happen often, but even in this context tells people you are serious and 100% prepared to do this to get that result. Nice. We're already almost done. Let's look at the term even though. Even though is nearly identical to although. You can use these two terms interchangeably, and although is a tiny bit more formal. That's the only difference. We use even though to talk about unexpected results or contrasting ideas. Let me show you what I mean with unexpected results. Even though we didn't study for the test, we somehow passed. Even though you didn't train for the marathon, you shockingly finished. Even though they grew up poor, they became millionaires by age 50. These are examples of two contrasting thoughts or actions. These actions are possible, just unlikely or not common. Let's talk about contrasting ideas. Even though it's snowing outside, he ran around in the snow without a jacket. Even though she is sick, she still went to work. He is learning Japanese for fun, even though it's a very difficult language. Great. These sentences show one idea, like it is snowing outside, and a contrasting idea, like being outside without a jacket. It's contrasting because most people would put on a jacket before going outside in the cold. Okay, I think that's enough information for today. These definitions of even are the most common you will use and cover about 95% of all of its uses. Congratulations on making it this far. I know it was a lot of information, but I had a lot of fun and I hope you did too. I can't wait to see you again next time. So until then, bye!